Boom. Hello. I'm Ernie Pack.
Denise Pack. What? What?
We're Packman Paranormal. I apologize. Anybody, first off, got to do some house cleaning here right off the bat.
That's Animal saying yo.
Yeah. Anybody that comments over in the chats, if you're watching on Facebook right now is jacked up and we can't see your name. So if you have a particular question or comment, please, after your comment, just tag your name on there so we'll know who we're talking to. Your ears are weird. That's Animal. See, Animal just did that because he follows instructions very well. Awesome. All right. We have not been on for a couple of weeks. 2 weeks ago, we were at the Supernatural Soiree.
Yep.
On the Battleship New Jersey.
We stopped by seeing the Mothman on the way home.
We went by Gettysburg. We made a whole trip out of that. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But good time. Came home from there. Been sick ever since. I think it's New Jersey. That's what it was. But no, I've been feeling terrible ever since. Denise has been up and down the last few days.
Hey, we can see the black hole. I think what it is, I think we can see groups, but we can't see individual people because EPS was on earlier and they could see the groups, but they couldn't see the individual people.
All right. Well.
But hello, family.
Hello, family. They are in Arkansas.
Right. There's
a hey y'all.
If you say anything, Animal eating tacos. That's Todd that said hey y'all.
All right.
And Barbie put her. Yeah, Todd, if you make a comment, you need to put your name after it because unless I see it on my phone, it's showing up as Facebook user up here because Facebook sucks.
Yeah.
Hello, Barbie.
So, like I say, we've been off the air for the past couple of weeks and got hundreds, if not thousands, of emails, text messages, and things like that from the millions and millions of the PAX fans missing me. So I figured I owed it to all of you to let you see me.
He's so full of shit. D-Hoot, we're glad you're on YouTube because we can't see anybody on Facebook right now.
Yeah.
Thank you. It has to be Leanne because Todd's in his own individual. Yeah, Todd's wearing his Mothman shirt right now too. And look.
Yeah, I see the Todd over there. But anyway, so we are back and we're gonna be on. I don't know how long.
That's Stevie Ruley. Sorry, I have to keep interrupting with who these messages are. If you're just now tuning in, if you're on Facebook, put your name after your comment because Facebook is screwed up right now and only showing us Facebook user unless you're
it doesn't say your name.
Group.
But anyway, so we're here. I wanted to talk a little bit. There's Damien. I
figured he'd be in
there. Yep. I mean, she was asking right before we went on air, what are we even going to talk about? Really, there's a lot to talk about, to be honest. I mean, the Supernatural Soiree, we haven't had a chance to talk about it at all since we got back. And we were invited up there by Rob and Sarah from Get Haunted.
Which is where we're at right now on the Get Haunted
Network. Get Haunted Network, the best network for paranormal podcast programming.
The most supportive network.
The most supportive network. Lots of great people on the network. I don't care what you might have heard. Screw them. They don't know what they're talking about. They're jealous or butthurt or something. That's all I can say. But anyway.
He's hanging in there, Stevie. He's still a pain in my ass.
I'm still not back to 100% by any means. I'm not even back to 50%, I don't think. But like I say, millions and millions of people have been reaching out, wanting me to do a show, right?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah.
But no, the soiree, we finally got to meet Courtney.
Finally.
We sat at the table with Courtney all night.
This is Alan Ellis. He was in Danny's show with me just a minute ago, getting rating too.
Cool. I don't know how many of you guys.
I'm gonna keep him off track because
she just keeps butting in. I keep trying. She's like, "What are we going to talk about?" Well, I've got a plan, and then she does this. But Yeah, Todd, we did run a in-car camera for the trip up there and the trip back.
Dash cam.
Yep, dash cam. Todd and Leanne rode with Denise and I, and those are always entertaining trips. I mean, we've gotten several episodes of "You Can't Make This Shit Up" off of our last trip we took together. So there's no telling what all is going to come out when he goes through all the video and audio from that trip.
This is Scotty Wilson right here. Scotty, if you make any comments, you'll have to put your name at the end of it because everything's showing us Facebook user right now.
Anyway, Courtney, always been amazing, super sweet, super supportive. And we've talked to her for 4 or 5 years now on Facebook.
A long time.
Never had met her in person. Finally got the chance to meet her in person at the soiree, and got to give her a big old hug. Had a great time.
I want to acknowledge that Stevie said he just got out of the hospital. So Stevie, I hope you're feeling better.
Hope you're feeling better, dude.
He probably should have been in the hospital.
Yeah, probably still should go.
I'm still thinking he needs to see a doctor.
Anyway, I mean, heck, there was a lot of great people on that battleship, and got to spend a lot of time with a lot of good paranormal family. It was not a celebrity driven event. There were some celebrities there, but it wasn't about, paying money to stand in line and hang out with celebrities. It was just a bunch of people from the parent. I see that.
Thank you.
Yeah, she's Mothman, apparently.
That's Danny.
But golly, you lost me again.
I know, I always do that.
Yeah, thanks.
You're welcome.
Anyway, soiree, amazing. On the way up there.
Gonna say, you said there were celebrity guests, and I'm like, it depends on how you measure a celebrity, because I'm not saying that I wasn't impressed by anybody there, because I was impressed by a lot of people at the soiree, but I don't look at people in celebrity status, and maybe that's a me thing, but everybody gets up and puts their legs on.
Their legs on one pant at a time.
Their pants on one leg at a time. So all these
perfectly normal.
All these people I've talked to since the beginning of time. So
yeah,
I don't see any of them as
that's what I'm saying. It wasn't something with just a bunch of the usual people, the usual suspects that people pay extra money to get a selfie with or something like that. It was a bunch of more the real people out there doing the work in the paranormal, and really investigating, not just there to get the clicks and the likes and the viewers or whatever. And it was really enjoyable, really good time. The trip up there, we swang by Trans-Allegheny. Just to get pictures. Just to get some pictures at Trans-Allegheny, hang out there a little bit, to walk around the grounds a little bit. I got to punch a bear. That was pretty cool. It's like, what? He's got the issues with the Smokey the Bear. I'm sure some of them may not know your issue with Smokey the Bear. He's got issues with Smokey the Bear. We have talked about that multiple times. And not everybody follows you, buddy. Well, everybody should, because I'm pretty freaking cool. But then on the way back, heck, we went by Gettysburg. We went by Point Pleasant. Did we make any other side trips? We never go straight to or from any place that we're going. We always get sidetracked and say, oh, what the heck? We're going over here. The world's largest turd is here. Let's go take a look. I don't think if you ever looked at me and said the world's largest turds over, I'd be like, that's all you, buddy. You think about it. They do have the world breaking colon at the Muter Museum, but we didn't go. I've seen it before, though. I've seen the biggest colon. I rest my case. Well, then we came home. We got sick. We haven't done much of anything. Last night, we did get out in the forest with the one and only Squatch Man. He was having his fall camp out up at his forest in southern Indiana. Had a good crowd of people there. It looked like he had about 15, 20 people there.
Yeah, it was supposed to start sprinkling. It did start sprinkling on us on the way back. I think it was supposed to get to him at about 10 or so. Hopefully he had a decent night.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
We always do, Danny. If you ever travel with us, you just better be ready.
Don't be on a schedule because we don't roll like that. We'll get there when we get there, but we're going to see everything there is to see in between here and there.
I grew up in Mothman country. That's where I was born and raised, and part of why my parents were ghost hunters, and I grew up on that urban legend. So that's kind of why I've been a ghost hunter my whole life, and actually have access to the bunkers there. So I've been there. So anyway, and this is Trevor. Trevor, you'll have to sign your name because it's doing
because obviously you haven't paid any attention to anybody's lives all day today. But anyway, we were sick last weekend, didn't get to come on talk about any of this. Last night went out in the forest with Squatchman. I was feeling a little bit better yesterday, so we did it, and it was a good time as always. I got a really interesting photograph out there. I want to look at a little closer on a bigger screen.
Animal's talking. Animal's been on a road trip with us before to Brushy Mountain from Kentucky through Tennessee to pick up the Todd and Leanne. And yeah, we were almost killed by a horse.
Mm-hmm. There was a lot going on that weekend. We found out that Animal is an expert in geology. Or no, he's no expert in geology.
That's what was it he said that led to that? I can't remember.
Squatchman was going to be moving to Washington, and he said, yeah, he shot himself. The Todd said that. Squatchman had been talking about moving to Washington.
Hot topic.
And Animal had said something about Washington's a cool town. And I said, no, the state. And he said, it's the same thing. I said, no, it's not. I said, Washington, D.C. is on the East Coast. Washington is a state on the West Coast. And he said, I'm no expert in geology. And I said, I didn't know anybody was talking about quartz. But we had everybody was slap happy and tired that whole trip because we just kind of went nonstop for 4 days straight. And so we were all making some silly comments, but good times. So now we are at the end of the season. We are done with all of our events. I know the Black Wolf Paranormal, they still have October 13th December 13th, I'm sorry. Friday the 13th at Trousdale Place that they're going to be hosting an event down there. Do you
guys still have tickets for that?
I don't know.
They're in the chat. Don't answer
they haven't. They're slow. They need to type faster.
Todd's got fat fingers.
Well, Denise has not got Leanne doesn't have fat fingers.
He needs to go back to bed, y'all. He does not even need to be functioning right now.
But anyway, I'm here because of all your requests.
They've got 19 tickets left.
They've got 19 tickets left for Trousdale Place in Gallatin, Tennessee.
Do you want
to put Friday the 13th?
Did one of y'all want to put the link up and I'll share the link?
Yeah. The Black Wolf does it right. The
Black Wolf Paranormal, follow them on Facebook.
They're some of the best people in the paranormal. Our paranormal brother and sister.
He says it's there. Read it. Where is it at?
It's there. Read it. It's not in the chat, the Todd. But so now we kind of slow down.
That's T-Dog.
T-Dog in the house. What's up, brother?
You have to sign your comments because Facebook is all screwed up.
Facebook is screwed up. We can't see who's making comments, so you're going to have to tag your name to it.
I'm seeing you on here is how I'm knowing.
Oh. There you go. There's the link for something.
That's for the Trousdale thing.
That's probably for somebody. I don't know. Anyway, Click on that link and see where that takes you. It probably won't be a porn site or anything to get you hyped. No, we had our final event of the year at Fort Duffield the week before we went to the soiree, and we were able to donate $650 to Fort Duffield for restoration and preservation of that historic site. And we're really happy about how the fundraising is going up there. I mean, we're not taking any profit off any of the events we do up there. We've said that over and over, and it's true. The money is going directly to the fort.
We just reimburse because we do offer a cookout and everything. So we do reimburse, obviously, the food because we usually spend between $200 and $250 on food. That includes all the drinks, the snacks for the night and all that stuff, paper goods, whatever. And then
we pay gas money to
some of the travels to help
some
us.
Of our guest hosts.
And then everything else go back to the fort.
Yep. But we're going to be starting back up in March with those, and we hope that you guys are.
We don't have dates set yet.
Ready to join us for one of those. Those are amazing events. Everyone has a good time. I mean, most everybody that's been to one has come back for the next one, and the next, and the next.
Thank you, Alan. We have not set dates yet for next year. We usually do about 4 a year. We may do 5 next year. I don't know.
I'm thinking every other month up into November.
We're trying to we've got other events that we know are going to be happening, so we're trying to get all these people that are like, we need to do this, we need to do that, get them on the calendar, and then work our days around that. So we got a few things up in the air right now.
Yeah, it's
yes
who is the Todd? Yes,
that's the Todd.
Leanne's birthday will be tomorrow. And mine will be on Wednesday. So you have 2 shopping days left before my birthday. If you haven't bought Leanne anything, she's pretty much got everything she needs anyway, so don't worry about it.
Just spend it on him.
Yeah, just save the money, spend it on me. 2 shopping days left.
That's T-Dog saying that.
Yep, T-Dog has been to a few of those now.
T-Dog's guest hosted 2 or 3 of them with us. So.
Yep.
We were offering up one Friday night a month, negotiable, whichever month you pick, the Friday night's negotiable with our schedule here at this house. We still have January. I can't remember all the dates. January, April, July. I think July through December is still there. Only 4 months are gone.
Yeah, so we've got 8 months left. And we'd love to see you guys come and join us for a night here. Those have been pretty eventful.
I don't even need to see who that is.
I know who that is. By the way it's written, that's Eric.
That's Eric. Eric, if you make any other comments, you'll want to put your name with it because Facebook is screwed up right now.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing all these happy birthdays. This one, that one right there is Sarah Ronimus. I don't know if I'm saying your name.
Ronimus?
Yes. That.
Words are hard for her.
Shut up.
But anyway, let's see. What else have we got here?
Leanne just wants you to give her $1 million for her birthday.
Okay. Yeah. $1 million to Ernie would be a great birthday present. That's what it says. $1 million to Ernie would be a great birthday present. I'll take half that.
Look at Todd offering himself up for our house. If y'all book our house and want Todd here, he'll come up here.
The Todd will show up to help host that.
Well, they do call out for Todd and Leanne because they do.
You can ask Nightsong Paranormal about that. When they were here, they turned on their equipment and who's that? Somebody's happy to see me.
That is Russ Stiver.
Russ Stiver is happy to see me.
You need to put your name behind your comment, Russ, because this thing's being crazy. I'm trying to watch on my phone and keep up with who's up here.
That's enough. I don't even care. If they don't put their name behind it now, it's their problem.
Alan saying, "Good old Todd there. He don't know Todd."
Yeah, there's nothing good about Todd. There's Sarah.
We love you,
thank
Sarah.
you, Sarah. I appreciate that. let's see. We got the house. We got the fort coming back up. There's a television show called Haunted Discoveries that's getting ready to start airing season 4 in the spring. There's an episode that was filmed right here at the Ditto House Inn.
And I have a feeling that anybody that hasn't booked a night at the Ditto House Inn, when they see what they caught in that episode, they're going to want to been on the
come. Yeah, they're going to want to come to the Ditto House, as well as Fort Duffield. There's an episode that was filmed at Fort Duffield.
Fort Duffield and the Ditto House.
And they caught something up there that even had.
It goes with my shirt, Sarah. I have to go all in. I don't do anything halfway.
Can I finish my thought?
Oh, yeah.
No,
sorry. I didn't realize you were talking.
Yeah. Fort Duffield Haunted Discoveries was also up there. And what they caught up there even baffled Dr. Harry Clore.
Yeah, Stevie's been at the Ditto House. They investigated.
Yep, sure did. Had a good time.
Sarah thinks I'm perfect in my Mothman gear.
You are perfect in your Mothman gear, dear.
See?
So you're going to want to book Fort Duffield next year, too, after you see this.
Goes with his short also. I think he meant to say shirt.
Huh?
He's talking about my Mothman gear. He's got his Mothman shirt on.
Oh, okay. I get it.
Stevie's talking about the tapping on the desk when he was here.
Yeah, let's talk about that real quick. We were giving them a walk through the house, and we were talking about a desk that's down in the parlor of our house that actually was.
This episode is like a squirrel.
It is, because you are just, it's you. I had thoughts. I had a plan. And you're like, he said that, and she said that. Baby, look at my shirt. It goes in my hat.
It's like a
Look at
squirrel
your ears.
on
You like my ears? So anyway, let's just take a time out and let's talk about the tapping on the desk. Can you focus on that? Quit looking at that for a minute.
Okay, go.
God. We were giving Stevie and the group he was there here investigating with their walkthrough of the house. And Stevie ran a recorder. Stop. During the walkthrough, we get down to the parlor area, and I start talking about General William Tecumseh Sherman's desk, which we happen to have in our parlor. And I'm just talking about this was William Tecumseh Sherman's desk, blah, blah, blah. Nobody's knocking on anything. No noises heard by anybody, nothing. Well, we listen to that recording. Stevie plays it back, and he's listening to it during the night as we're sitting at the dining room table. And when I start talking about the desk, you hear as if someone was tapping out a pipe on the desk. I mean, it's very loud, very clear. What? What are we saying? Who said that?
That's hold on a minute.
Who said that?
Where was it? Where was it? It was Icy, I believe. Was it Icy that said that? Who said that? Hold on a minute. Don Johnson. I saw it.
It's right above D Hoot. You ought to be able to see D Hoot because it's a
can't
YouTube
see
thing.
that because I'm
okay. Whoever said that, I need you to tell me who said that.
I thought I saw it on here. Where did it go?
And who says that the tapping was the spirit telling him to get on with it already? Whoever that is.
That's
is a Todd.
That's Todd.
Yeah. Todd's a smart ass, y'all. He did not know. But no, that, and then, we know that General Sherman did smoke a pipe. And I can imagine that there were times when he would be sitting at that desk, tapping it out to clean it out and put some more tobacco in there.
Icy that came
Icy. All right. All right.
He's all like this now. He's like, ooh, Don Johnson. He's going to be walking around in a white suit.
I'm a lot better looking than Don Johnson, but I appreciate the effort to find someone that looks close to this.
Hi,
Good.
fam. It's Courtney. Courtney,
Hello, Courtney. You missed the part where we were talking good about you. Too bad.
y'all need to sign
We're not
your
going to
name.
talk good about you anymore.
Everybody
this is
sign
No
your
Pants
name.
Sunday.
Yeah, sign your name after your comments.
I'm not wearing pants. I'm not. Look. See that? But anyway, so yeah, the Ditto House, we've still got 8 dates left that you can book here. That is kind of like a bed and breakfast kind of experience. It's from 7 p.m.
7 p.m. to 11
till
a.m.
11 a.m.
We'll provide snacks, sleeping arrangements if you choose to sleep, and breakfast.
Right.
Somebody said, who said they had to Google Don Johnson? That has to be Trevor. It is.
Trevor, boot him. Boot him. But
I knew it had to be him because he's
yeah.
young.
Yeah, he's young and dumb.
No.
But I mean, we're really looking forward to season 4 of Haunted Discoveries. Like I say, they did 2 episodes here in West Point, here at the house, here over at Fort Duffield, at the
Cafe.
West Point Cafe, West Point Station Cafe, and then over at the what is the name?
Lynch House.
The Lynch House over on 6th Street.
They did 4 locations divided into 2 episodes.
2 episodes, and it's really gonna.
We also filmed.
Draw some attention.
We also filmed something else that's kind of a big deal that will be airing in the spring.
I want to be real careful about what I say because I'm not sure how much I can say. But while Haunted Discoveries was filming season 4, they had some occurrences that they were able to document with their equipment. And their EMCCD camera that, quite honestly, Brandon, Mustafa, Craig, and Kevin were kind of blown away. It was stuff they were never expecting to encounter. They're ghost hunters. I
think Stevie didn't realize that you finished talking about the tapping on the desk.
Yeah, I was finished.
Yeah.
Because it just does no good to try to tell a complete story with this one around.
I've got ADHD, and you want me to keep. You said keep your phone so you can know who those people are.
And then a little bit later, after I realized how distracting it was going to be, I said, "Don't worry about it." Remember that part?
You done got me engaged now.
Disengage.
Y'all, you don't even understand. When I say I got ADHD, I mean it. This show ought to prove it to you right now.
This show, anybody that doesn't feel sorry for me.
This is a small snippet of what he deals with.
You should
all day,
learn
every day.
A good reason to feel sorry for me after watching this show.
Animal, we don't have it. Well, we do still have it.
We have that table, but we got a whole lot of beds now. A whole lot of rooms here.
Yep.
So where was I before you interrupted me?
I don't know. I really do need medication, y'all. Y'all don't even know.
Greetings and salutations.
That is Kent Wilson.
Kent Wilson's in the house.
Hello, Kent. If you make too many comments, put your name behind it because Facebook's being a bitch.
Yep.
Yeah, see? Once you wind up an ADHD person, that is right. See, that's Trevor. He understands.
Yeah.
He understands.
Well, yeah, I can see why he would understand.
We don't need a ghost to follow us home. That's RJ Walker.
RJ, we live in Kentucky's most haunted house.
We live in the Ditto House Inn. We're actually selling nights here. That's what we were just talking about a little bit ago.
But yes, spirits have followed us home from other locations in the past. They followed us not only home, but to other locations.
I think some of them have followed us back here because we have so many here. And then every once in a while, there's different ones that come through here. So,
and as far as the house calming with the seasons, I haven't noticed, and we can talk about this a little bit. People talk about like, ooh, I want to investigate blank location on Halloween. I want to investigate blank location on a full moon or this or that. I honestly, personally, have never noticed any difference in the activity based on any of those things. I think that time is irrelevant in the spirit world.
I think, though, sometimes like that's got to be Kent because he's talking about the paranormal addicts. I think sometimes like because this was a Civil War hospital, and we run tours out of Fort Duffield, which is right up on the hill. This whole town was like prominent during the Civil War, obviously.
It was taken over by Sherman's army.
And with the like fireworks, anytime we have fireworks like 4th of July or whatever, it seems to amp activity because I think they don't understand.
They think it's gunfire, cannon fire or something. I think. Yeah, those kinds of triggers I think do spur more activity. But as far as like a calendar, I think it's irrelevant personally.
I mean, I do think that sometimes there's like residuals. I mean, we don't have a lot of residual here in the house, but I think sometimes residuals will cause
maybe repeat on a certain time or date. Yeah.
Somebody said, whoever said, "Hey, Denise and Ernie, can you put your name with that? Because that's not popping up in the chat I'm on, and I can't see who it is. So sorry. If we miss you, sorry. We're having a hard time here.
If you're, I'll say it one more time. If you're watching through Facebook, all we see on our screen is Facebook user.
I can see some of you on my...
Patrick.
Good morning, Patrick.
Good morning, evening, sir. It's nighttime. I don't know where the hell you're at. Unless you're hanging out with Damien. Damien, I see. That was Damien responding to Patrick.
See?
That's what that was.
If you're in the same chat that I'm on Facebook, I can see you. But if you're coming in on any of the places that I've shared it, I can only see this one chat. So people popping in another area, I can't see your name.
So we're going to spend all night just talking about how we can't see who you are.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Apparently, because that's all she's done.
I just said the F
word. Did. She did. So
he put an ADHD person in charge of the freaking comments.
I'm taking you out of charge of comments.
You should have put me there first because that's where I'm stuck now.
No, you're not stuck.
I got OCD too.
How did we come to be here and how long have we been here? Good question, D. We were looking for a historic home. We were renting a house when we first got together and we decided to buy, and we were looking for a historic home. Thought we had a deal on one that was down in Bardstown, Kentucky. That deal kind of fell through, and so we were went back on the market looking again. I was laying in bed about 3 a.m, and Denise wakes me up with this demonic voice that says, "We need this house," and it scared the shit out of me, to be honest. And I woke up and looked, and she's got her phone about 2 inches from my face. And I had a picture of this house.
I don't sleep. Another problem with the ADHD.
Yeah. And all that we could tell on it was it said, for all you history buffs, this former Civil War hospital has everything you need, blah, blah, blah. And she said, "You got to call the realtor in the morning." Now, this was a Saturday night. It was actually 3 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday when she woke me up. And I said, "Well, it's Sunday. I'm sure we're not going to get in touch with a realtor tomorrow." She said, "Well, you got to call them, leave a message, whatever."
We were hoping, D-Hoop, but we'll get to that in a minute.
And so I get up the next morning, 9 o'clock, call the realtor's number. He answers. And to make a long story short, we're in the house taking a walkthrough by noon. We walked 10 feet in the door, and if you've done a lot of paranormal investigating, you'll know what I'm saying when we got that vibe off of this place from the moment we walked in the front door. We got 10 feet in the front door. We looked at the realtor. We said, "We'll take it." And he's like, "Well, it's 3,700 square feet. Don't you want to see the rest of it?" And I was like, "Yeah, well, sure, but we'll take it." And so we looked around, made the offer on the house, walked back out front, noticed the historic marker on the front of the house that said the Ditto House Inn. We didn't know prior to that it had a name for the house.
I already made the deal on it, though.
We already made the deal, or the offer, yeah. So we get in the car and start driving back to the other house, and Denise does a Google search for the Ditto House Inn, and the Google result pops up 6 reasons why the Ditto House Inn is Kentucky's most haunted house. And we were like, bonus, high five. And
we've been here. It'll be 2 years in
March.
April, technically, is when we
Yeah.
moved in. I'm going to let you address this. I'm not sure who that is, but I'm going to let you address that question.
Oh, Lord. Does she have any sort of hyper tendencies like analyzing movements, fidgeting? Okay, let's go one by one. Hyper tendencies.
I'll keep it up there while you go one by
Hyper
one.
tendencies. When she moved to Kentucky, I was unpacking some of her things into the house to move into the house that we were renting together. And she had 19 paint rollers.
Not the covers, the actual rollers.
Because she needed them.
I didn't.
She's a little hyper about that. You know, instead of
have to
looking
look
for something, she just buys it. And then she buys another one the next time she needs the same thing. And how did Sassy enter the picture? We'll get to that in just a minute too.
Analyzing.
What's next? Analyzing. Denise will make lists, and then she'll make lists of the lists that she's made.
I can't remember if I don't have a list, and I have to subcategorize it.
Show a couple of notebooks. Okay, here. Look,
there's one.
Here's two more.
They're set in different piles because the different piles mean something.
They're analyzed. She analyzes. 4. That's 4 over here. 1, 2. So yeah, there's a little bit of that happens. Movements and fidgeting. Have you not seen her over here? Twiddling her Mothman
moving my chair back
testicles
and forth,
or whatever it is hanging from the side there. So yeah, that's
Sarah's feeling me. Patrick's gonna pray for you.
Thank you, Patrick.
Now,
all right. How did Sasquatch enter the picture? Okay,
he found us.
We were not a paranormal team. There was no such thing as Packman Paranormal. There was Ernie Pack, a former guide at Waverly Hills Hospital Sanatorium.
Yes, I do. I know where everything's at. I can have 500 lists, and I know exactly where everything's at. See?
Yes. Listen, one question at a time there, ADD. So, I was a guide at Waverly Hills Sanatorium. Met her when she was my guest for a private overnight at Waverly Hills Sanatorium.
And he married me.
Yeah, can we answer the freaking question?
I not interrupted you.
You just did.
I'm flapping my wings.
Yeah. So met her when she was my guest as a paranormal investigator at Waverly Hills. The story of Sarah, the nurse from room 502. Show it. Boom. Is basically the reason that we started talking. We became friends. We had a very similar story about our paranormal investigations and what that led us to believe about what had happened to Sarah.
Another hyperfixation. I always have to have a tissue.
Okay, and I'm not interrupted again. Someone keep track of the number of interruptions between now and the end of the show. But we got 20 minutes. I bet we can get more than 20 interruptions in 20 minutes. I bet we can. Anyway, so her and I made a pact to investigate Sarah's story and get as much information on that as we possibly could, so that we could share her story with the world and maybe bring her spirit some peace. And so she was traveling up from Hendersonville, Tennessee, and we would get together and go investigate. We'd go check around at the library, cemeteries, different places that other evidence had led us to go to try to find more information. And one night we were in a cemetery where Sarah had told us that her grave was located. We actually found a grave that said Sarah Mitchell on the grave. It had her sister, which would have been the appropriate age, mom, dad, and I believe there was a brother as well in that family plot. And while we're up there investigating, we were doing an EVP session, and we heard tree knocks. And you can hear on the recording from the EVP session where Denise says, I ain't about no damn Bigfoot up here tonight. And we kind of laughed it off because neither of us were even Bigfoot believers. We didn't deny the existence or the possibility of Bigfoot, but we'd never encountered one personally.
We didn't even know that a characteristic of a Bigfoot was
I knew that.
Do a tree knock. Didn't. I didn't. I'd never studied it.
Yeah.
So it was funny that I said that because that's where my mind went.
Yeah. So
that wasn't an interruption, by the way. I was contributing to the conversation.
You interrupted. You did interrupt.
I was contributing to the conversation.
103, the Todd. So we headed down the hill. The cemetery's on top of a hill. We headed down the hill and stopped at another location along that road. And we got out of the car and we're looking across this gully. It's like a big drop off, basically, with the hillside across from it. And we saw a figure moving across that gully on the other side of it from us. And it came around the hill down under where we could not see. It was like straight down from us where we couldn't see it, and let out this long, guttural, deep, bellowing growl. And we both felt a little bit uncomfortable at that point. We did. She's not going to act like it now because she thinks she's tough. Whatever.
You did.
Whatever. Okay. I got uncomfortable. She was just like, oh, I'm going to go down there and kick its ass, whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to kick its ass because I'm a badass. So we got in the van and started to leave. And she said, do you think that really was maybe a Bigfoot? And I said, well, what we saw walking on the other side of that hill could have very well been. It looked like it was on two legs, was big, it was dark. Hard to tell. I couldn't see it clear enough to know. So she starts Googling Bigfoot sightings in Jefferson Memorial Forest, which is where we were. And there had been a rash of sightings. It did sound just like her, didn't it?
That's Patrick that said that.
Thank you, Patrick. And, well, I'll get to that in a minute too. But, so we wound up doing a live stream investigation called Ghost Hunters Meet Bigfoot, based on that, because I had contacted Connie Willis, who was a friend of mine at the time that I'd worked with a couple of times at Waverly Hills Sanatorium. And so I contacted her. I knew she was into Bigfoot a lot, and I told her about our experience. And she said, well, I got to get you guys on a live stream. We'll call it Ghost Hunters Meet Bigfoot. What's your team name? I said, we don't have a team name. It's Ernie and Denise. She said, well, I got to have a name if I'm going to advertise this.
We were still friends too. We were not even a couple.
No.
Everybody thought we were a couple.
Right. And so that's how Packman Paranormal was born. My last name is Pack. My nickname has been Packman pretty much my whole life. Pac-Man in the game, what did he do? He chased ghosts. So we thought that was a perfect name. So Bigfoot is how Packman Paranormal was born, D-Hoot. And that's how Bigfoot came into the picture. Now, we had D-Hoot asked how long have we been living here when we had our first Sasquatch and paranormal experience. Well, we
30 minutes after you got the key to the house, the first big thing happened.
Yeah, the first big paranormal experience here at the house happened about a half hour after I got the key to the house.
It's okay, D-Hoot.
But anyway, so that's how it happened. The Bigfoot came into picture before we were living together. You know, we were just friends, and we had paranormal experiences together from the moment we met, because I met her on an investigation at Waverly Hills Sanatorium. So,
I've been, like I was saying earlier when somebody was talking about my Mothman stuff, I grew up in West Virginia, but
about 35 minutes from Point Pleasant.
Yeah, and my parents, my aunt, my mom, my dad, my grandmother, they were all into the urban legends and everything. And that obviously was a big one in our area. And ever since I can remember, my parents were sneaking into abandoned places where they weren't supposed to be, and they were taking me with them. So it's been my whole entire life. And then Ernie's basically his whole life too, because his grandmother was a believer, and he stayed with his grandma when he was little. And have we ever been frightened in our home? Only I don't know that I would say it was a fright.
You were frightened.
I yelled and cussed, but I wasn't like, I didn't like run into the house.
Scared.
I didn't like run out
You were
of
a
the
little
house.
bit scared. You ran to the steps.
We had some weird looking, it was slow at first haunt.
It was.
We had some weird looking thing in our bedroom that had not ever been here. And we have all kinds of things happen here, like doors open, like physical objects move, like we see full-bodied apparitions. Like there's a podcast of us where this door back here behind Ernie actually opens while we're
during the podcast.
And
if you look very closely, you can see like a light anomaly go into the door.
I mean, we could be sitting here talking right now and actually see something happen back here. It happens.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was putting laundry up. We were actually supposed to be on somebody else's podcast one night at like 10 o'clock or something. That's an Ernie shirtless. It could have been.
That is not scary. That's pretty awesome.
Anyway.
There's a chosen few who've seen that.
Oh, that's got to be tough.
Rob is one, actually.
He didn't charge extra for that.
I didn't charge him a dime for that.
But I was putting laundry up, killing time, waiting to go on this podcast at 10 o'clock at night. I was like, tired, trying to keep myself awake. And I just had the ambient light from the hallway going into our bedroom. And when I walked into the bedroom with the laundry basket, I heard the bed move, like somebody rolled over on the bed. It squeaked. It was in our bedroom. So I look over at the bed, and this thing sits up, makes eye contact with me, rolls over on its belly and crawls backwards off the bed and slithers down into the shadows. What I saw was, for the lack of a better way of describing it, I'm not saying it was an alien, but the best way I can think of to describe it was like that same grayish, bluish tint. It had the body of the size of maybe a child, but it had long, skinny arms, long, skinny legs, and it had a big, like, baby head, and it was wearing a diaper. And it looked scary to me. I know I threw the laundry basket. I cussed. I hollered. I flipped the light on my way out the door, and I got to the top of the stairs, and then I'm standing there catching my breath, and Ernie's like, "What's going on?" And I'm trying to explain to him. I'm like, I don't even know what to tell you what's going on, because he was downstairs in the dining room, and he heard me all the way upstairs. Yeah. I don't startle. I never get scared, ever. So if I startle, people that know me, like the Todd, Leanne, everybody in this chat that have investigated with me will tell you that if I get startled, there's something going on. So yeah, but that's the creepiest thing.
Todd over there says little old lady in the red shawl. You want to tell that story?
You tell it so much better.
Todd and Leanne stay with us a lot. They've got their own room over here. The ladies' room is Todd and Leanne's room, and they stay with us a lot. And usually when they're here, we'll break out some equipment and do some investigating while they're here. Well, one night we were downstairs. We were in the parlor. We had some equipment set up back in the dining room and some in the living room. Where our house, the way it's designed, if you stand in the parlor, you can look straight back and you can see through the living room into the dining room. And then the hallway kind of goes around back to the kitchen. And so we had some activity with I don't know, had the Paralight reacting and some different things going on.
We were challenging, I guess you could say, the Paralight, because we discovered when we were working at Waverly, we had the tripwire, which is basically a bunch of little Paralights on it. Same technology. We discovered that with lightning strikes, it will make that Paralight go off, or those tripwires go off. And we started figuring out that it seemed like if somebody went back to the kitchen and opened a refrigerator door, the Paralight sitting all the way in the parlor would go off with the opening of a refrigerator door. So we were kind of testing that theory a little.
So Todd went back to the kitchen. He said, I need to get some milk anyway. So I'll go open the refrigerator door and you tell me if it goes off. And so he goes back there. He opens the door. Paralight goes off. And we yell, yeah, it went off. He's like, okay. And he closes it, opens it back. Went off again. Okay. Debunked.
So he's going to get some milk.
We figured that out. And he said, I'm going to get some milk and I'll be in there. So you hear the refrigerator open again. The Paralight goes off. Refrigerator door closes. And you hear, yeah. And Todd comes walking in. He's doing this Todd thing that he does where he shakes his wrist and he's like, ugh. Y'all didn't tell me nothing about the little old lady in the red shawl. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? You didn't tell me about her. I'm like, who? What? Well, I closed the refrigerator door and right behind it, there's a little old lady standing there in a red shawl looking at me. Scared the shit out of me. So.
Well, you did have a little old lady come up to the bedroom door one night.
Hello?
A few weeks later, he was here by himself because we'd never encountered the little old lady, and he had the little old lady come up and say hello we don't know if it was her, though, but it was a little old lady's voice. He was here by himself.
Yeah, it was a little
a lot of big things happen here, though, in this house. Like, we have a nursery set up for our ghost children because we have a lot of ghost children here. And we have a chalkboard in there. They've wrote on the chalkboard, like nothing legible, but there are lines
drawn on the chalkboard.
We have blocks in there. They'll pull the blocks out. Jacks, they'll move the balls around on the bed because we got little balls. We got cat balls. They'll play with those.
Music box goes off from time to time.
We do have like a REM pod and music box that's set out, the motion stuff. Tell them about the little wind. I'll go get it so we can demonstrate it.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
All right. We've got this little thing. She's going to get it.
I've tried to make everything as antique as possible to kind of fit with what they are used to.
Yeah. She's still talking. Y'all probably can't hear her. But we've got this little toy that she's going to go get that you'll recognize it when you see it probably. It's just a little thing that winds up. It sounds like a Jack in the Box. Plays that music, And it sits in the children's room on the bedstand there. And this is it. And, this is what it sounds like. There it goes. Okay. Well, I was laying in bed one night, the only one here at home, and I woke up hearing this. And I sat up in bed, and it went on a little bit more, and then it stopped. And I said, okay, thank you. I need to sleep. And it went like that. And so I did not know where the clean blankets were, but I needed clean blankets after that because I do believe I pissed the bed that night.
That's Robert Murphy. Hello.
Hello, Robert.
We're having the same problem you were having, Robert. We can't see anything except Facebook user. I'm trying to keep up on my phone.
So, yeah, that was a little bit creepy. But no, like Denise says, a lot of people have paranormal experiences. A lot of people talk about their house is haunted. We hear footsteps. We have this and we have that happen. And I hate to sound rude or condescending, but it's like, that's cute. Because really, we have doors open and close. We have furniture get moved.
We have a chair downstairs that we've got, like, every room has a fireplace in it. And I've tried to keep all the furniture to where it's like kind of nice
facing the
fireplace because we're trying to keep it like in period decor. There is a rocking chair downstairs that keeps turning towards the couch. Like it's somebody wanting to talk to somebody on the couch. Me and whatever it is that keeps moving, it keeps fighting. I keep moving it back to the fireplace. I go downstairs, it's facing the couch again.
And that's happened when she's the only one home, and
I'll go down there in the morning and go to the kitchen to get like a Coke and let the dog out, and it's in the right place, and come back through and come upstairs, go back down like an hour later, and it's moved. So it's not like it's taken all night for it to move.
Yeah. It's this place, I've said it a million times. I worked at Waverly Hills for a long, long time. A lot of people call that, yes, it is hardwood floor.
Yeah.
That is on a rug, though.
It's
that
on a
chair is
rug.
on a rug.
Yeah, it's on a rug, but it is a hardwood floor.
But a lot of people call Waverly Hills the most haunted place in the world. And I can agree with that sentiment for most people until I moved in here. I'm being 100% honest when I say this place is more active than Waverly.
It's consistent.
It's more, yeah. There were plenty of nights I spent all night at Waverly Hills for 3, 4, 5, 6 nights in a row and really had nothing happen that was significant. Here, it's rare that we go a day without something big happening, like a door closing, like a cabinet opening, a drawer opening.
Well, this morning when you were leaving for work.
This morning when I was leaving for work, we have a spirit, we call him. We think it's a man by the name of Mr. Porter who had once bought this house for his daughter and her husband.
It wasn't his daughter, it was his niece.
His niece and her husband. Okay.
What's funny about Mr. Porter, though, is if it's Mr. Porter, we're assuming that's who it is because we've got his description and everything, is once he figured out that he could startle us by like just popping up, he thinks it's funny because now after he startles us, he smiles as he turns around and walks away. So he got Ernie this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. I went downstairs and he's a very tall man and he wears a top hat. So he looks 8 feet tall, with that top hat on. And, I went downstairs about 6:45 this morning, still pretty dark in the house, and get to the bottom of the steps, go around the corner into the living room, and he's standing there by the couch looking at me grinning. And I stepped back. I just stopped and took one step back. He grinned, turned, went toward the parlor, and just kind of dissipated. And
he got me one morning or one afternoon. Actually, I was here by myself because he's one I see a lot during the day when I'm here alone. And usually before I got used to him, what startled me was he's so real that I was thinking, oh my God, somebody's in the house with me because we have a 3,700 square foot house and it's our walls are like 12 inches thick, like brick. Like our ceilings are like not this room, but the other rooms are like 12 feet high. So anybody could be anywhere in this house. And it's an old house where it's a lot of different levels and there's more than one door to get into every room. If anybody got in our house, they could probably be in here a day or two before we even knew it. So when I'm here by myself and I see a man, my first thing is not haunted. It's there's a man
raped and murdered.
There's a man in the house. Yeah. So I was hearing what sounded like children upstairs, and I knew we had the ghost children. My ears flopping over.
I hate when you have floppy ears.
I know.
It's 8:59. There's not a show coming on after ours, so we can continue.
Yeah, Julie doesn't feel good tonight. So
yeah.
But I was hearing what sounded like children upstairs. So I crept through the living room and I'm looking, I go right into the doorway, looking up the stairs, and there's a hallway. I'm in a hallway. So the hallway continues to go back this way. And I don't look, I'm just looking up the stairs and I'm looking and looking and looking. And then I do this and I turn and I'm face to face with Mr. Porter. And I said, and he just smiled and turned around and went away again. So yeah, he likes to scare us.
Yeah.
So do you always engage or stuff? Just like if it's somebody else in the house. I mean,
we'll say hello. We treat them like people. I mean, because that's what they are.
Well, Ernie was going to, we'll tell him sometimes. We've told him before, hey, the living or sleeping. We don't care what y'all do, but you got to keep it down. He was going to the bathroom the other night because our bedroom is at the very end of the hall upstairs and the bathroom is all the way on the other end. He walked past the ladies' room and said, hey, there's a lady standing in there looking at the chest of drawers. I was like, well, what is she doing? He said, I don't know. She just looks like she's standing there looking for something. I said, okay, well, we'll find out what she's doing in the morning because I'm tired. I don't want to go. There's no need to go in there. It's her room. We have a ladies' room. We have a gentleman's room. We have a nursery. She's not hurting anything. Let her just do what she's going to do. And the next morning I went in there to try to see what she might have been doing, and my grandmother's jewelry box was open. So and there's not anything really in that jewelry box. Like I think there's one necklace or something. So we actually went shopping yesterday at the Peddler's Mall trying to find antique jewelry, because that's what we do for them. We honor them.
We get them what they want.
So we're trying to find antique jewelry now to put in the jewelry box.
Dude asks if it's like a boarding house. It was built as a private residence in 1841.
It used to be a brothel.
It's one of these houses that has like different doorways that connect rooms, and it's almost like secret passageways almost.
That's Joanne Stewart right there.
Hello, Joanne.
We can't see you. If you make any comments, put your name.
But it's been a hotel, it's been a brothel, it's been a restaurant, it's
Civil
been a
War
lot of
hospital.
things over the years.
We're in the murder room right now. Silas
Yes.
Rodman was murdered here in 1903. He was a traveling life insurance salesman of all things.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't find his body in the river behind our house till 1904, though. So his tombstone actually, I think his tombstone says 1904. Death,
Yeah.
1904.
No, it has the date November
Does it say?
23rd, I think.
Does it of 1903?
Yeah.
Okay.
He wasn't found till May of 04.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, we hit antique malls all the time. Now I assume that's Trevor talking about Paducah.
Yeah. Can I see photos of your home at all? Okay.
Go to Facebook.
If you go to what?
Go to the Real Ditto House in 1841 on Facebook.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't have Facebook. That's why.
That's right.
She's
Okay.
If you Google the Ditto House Inn in West Point, Kentucky, there's two pictures that show up. There's a red one and a bluish gray one. They're owned by the same family.
They were originally
owned by the same family. The red one, however, is the Ditto Lansdale
house.
And they interchanged the two. It's also very haunted as well. So, sometimes we're like, did they mean that was the most haunted or ours was the most haunted? Because they're both very active, but ours is the bluish gray one. 204
Elm Street, West Point, Kentucky. 40177.
Yep.
So send donations for restoration. No, seriously. But yeah. Or you could just come and visit, D-Hoot. We have Friday nights available. We've got 8 of them available for 2025. Just contact one of us and we'll find you a date and you can come and visit. $500 for up to 10 people. Pretty good deal.
Yes, Freddy Krueger did live on Elm Street.
He did live on Elm Street, and he still does.
Yeah, another one of my hyper fixation things.
He still lives on Elm Street. See there?
Where are you at, D-Hoop?
Sit down.
You bother me.
Sit down. You bother me. So, have we got anything else we need to talk about, or is it?
No, I think we just rambled for an hour already.
We have.
Oh, I know what we were going to do.
Oh, we got to wrap it up. Yeah.
We have decided, because Ernie's stories are so fabulous, that we're going to have an Ernie story at the end of each podcast if we have time to do it. She's in Texas. Yeah,
you're not that far away. Come on. 13 hours, 14 hours.
Thank you for sharing the Fort Duffield stuff, Trevor. But we're going to wrap this up with a can't make this shit up story of Ernie Pax, because, the last time we had a show, he did the trash can story. For those of y'all that missed that, you really missed a good one.
Yeah. Humana.
She's not sure she could take a night here. Yeah, you
could do it.
They're all good.
We'll be here with you. You'll be fine.
They're all nice.
They're just people.
Except for that bubble-headed baby.
That bubble-headed baby's a little creepy. So there was a time when it was during my Boy Scout years, but I don't think this was actually a Boy Scout thing. I think it was me and my cousin and a couple of our friends. We used to go frog gigging. And if you're not a country person and that sounds weird to you, that's where you take a little spear, like a little trident, and you go out at night with a flashlight, go around ponds or creeks, whatever, and you see the eyes of the frogs glowing on the side, the bullfrogs, you gig them, you come home, you got you some frog legs. And
my grandmother fried the whole frog. She said there's too much meat to waste if you just take the legs.
your grandmother was a
What
unique
was she doing with
person.
the rest of the frog?
All I did was eat the legs. I never ate anything but that. But anyway,
That's Leanne. She got to hear your trash can story.
yeah.
That's Todd.
So we were frog gigging, and had a pretty good mess of frogs going, having a good night. And
this is
I was waiting in the pond. We were in a pond that was in the middle of a horse pasture, and the guy didn't want his horses getting into the pond, so he had electric fence around the pond to keep the horses out of the pond. And so we're out there in the pond, and I got the urge to go pee. And so I thought, well, I don't want to pee in the pond because we're eating the frogs that are coming out of this pond. I need to get out of the pond before I pee. So it's dark, it's nighttime, right? And you don't, if you're just sloshing through a pond when you're frog gigging, you don't want your light just going everywhere. So I turned off my flashlight because, the frogs see you moving around, they jump, they're gone. Once they jump in the water, they're gone.
Yeah, Trav says you're in trouble if you do.
Yeah, I see that. That was good. So I turned my light out, slashing through this pond toward the bank in the middle of the night.
Darby Doo's in here
watching. I get to the bank. I unzip my pants. I prepare to take a pee. Remember that electric fence? I found it. Right across the tip. Yeah, that was a bad night.
Yeah, that was a quick story.
We didn't get any more frogs that night. And I did not have a good time peeing for a couple of weeks after that. I had a little burn right there in a very bad place to have a little burn. But it popped me pretty good. So I think that I got superpowers from it. Denise would probably agree.
That's Leanne. That's Patrick right there.
So yeah, that happened.
That's Joanne.
That's my story for tonight.
So we're gonna go ahead and get off here. We've done ran over. It's 9:10, and my child tried to call me, so I need to call her back. Darby Doo.
Darby. Oh, so then she decided to.
She decided. I told her I was at a podcast, so she. Love you, Eric.
We love all y'all. We appreciate you tuning in to hear us just ramble and her interrupt me for an hour. Stop it. But you did get to see me. I'm sorry you had to look at that hat, but
they got to see me in my ADHD full
swing. Full bore.
So.
But anyway, you guys come back next week. We'll find something else to talk about. Maybe have a guest on here. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to do? You know us. We kind of fly by the seat of our pants all the time. But we love y'all. Y'all take care. Everybody. Be good to one another. And follow all these programs on the Get Haunted Network. You got a bunch of good people on here. Network run by good people. Lots of good people to hang out with and get to know. So you all take care. We'll see you next time. Peace.